Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. And today, something feels different. There's a buzz in the air. Whispers are turning into conversations, and conversations are turning into headlines. Could the Lakers be on the verge of one of the most dramatic shifts we've seen since the Showtime era? Stay locked in, because this might just be the story that defines the next decade of Lakers basketball. Now, let's not jump the gun just yet. We want to walk through this step by step, because the deeper you dig, the more fascinating this gets. What started as subtle murmurs behind the scenes is rapidly becoming the talk of the NBA. And no, this isn't just about Lauri Markkanen or even Luka Doncic anymore. There's a growing belief among insiders, agents, and executives that the Lakers might be constructing a multi-layered, long-term super plan. One that involves not just new stars, but possibly the front office's biggest philosophical pivot in years. Let's rewind the tape. After a frustrating and frankly underwhelming playoff exit, many fans expected the Lakers to make immediate changes, to shake things up, to push the panic button. But they didn't. No rush trades. No overreactions. Instead, they played the long game. And that decision might end up being brilliant. Why? Because now they're in a prime position. A position of power. A position where they control the board, and they're waiting to strike when the timing is just right. And now, that timing might finally be here. Behind closed doors, league sources are buzzing that the Lakers have not one, not two, but three parallel tracks in motion. Three strategic pathways that could each lead to a massive payoff. Let's break them down. Path 1, the Markkanen plan. We've already talked about it, but the more you hear, the more it makes sense. Lauri Markkanen checks all the boxes. He's young. He's long. He's efficient. He doesn't need the ball to be effective, which is key when you already have LeBron and AD on the floor. But more than that, he's entering his prime right now. Not 2 years from now. Not 5 years from now. Today. The Jazz, rebuilding and asset-hungry, are listening. They're not desperate, but they're pragmatic. And the Lakers know that. That's why, according to multiple reports, LA has quietly been assembling a war chest of trade assets, just in case this deal becomes real. Now here's the twist. It's not just about acquiring Markkanen. It's about what his presence allows the Lakers to do next. Path 2, the Luka Contingency. This one feels like a dream, right? Luka Doncic in a Lakers jersey? But don't roll your eyes just yet. Because the more you look at the cracks forming in Dallas, the more this dream starts to resemble reality. Luka is a generational player. We all know that. But what many people forget is how emotionally invested he is in winning, and how little patience he's shown for dysfunction. If Dallas falters again, especially after another playoff disappointment, the whispers about Luka's discontent could become roars. And here's where it gets interesting. Multiple people close to Luka say he's always admired the Lakers. Not just because of the brand or the city, but because of Kobe. Doncic has spoken repeatedly about what Kobe Bryant meant to him growing up. And now, with the Lakers potentially transitioning into a post-LeBron era, the idea of Luka stepping in as the new face of the franchise might be too tempting to ignore for both sides. So let's ask the question. Is it possible that the Lakers are quietly preparing for a two-phase master plan? First, bring in Markkanen. Then, when the opportunity arises, make a run at Luka. That would give them a foundation built not just for the next 2 years, but for the next 10. Path 3, the Bron AD reload. Here's something most people haven't talked about. What if the Lakers' plan is not to rebuild after LeBron, but to squeeze one more legitimate title run with him? Think about it, LeBron hasn't shown major signs of slowing down. In fact, last season, he was still putting up MVP-caliber numbers when healthy. Pairing him with a revamped roster, led by younger stars, might actually extend his career while keeping the Lakers in title contention. And don't forget about Anthony Davis. He had one of the most consistent seasons of his career last year, especially on the defensive end. If you give AD a little more offensive help and reduce his minutes just enough to stay fresh, he could be the league's most dominant two-way player again. With that context, the Markkanen-Luka scenario doesn't just look like a dream, it looks like a blueprint. One designed to maximize every ounce of what LeBron still has left in the tank, while also future-proofing the team for the post-LeBron years. Now let's throw another log on the fire. What about Trae Young? Yes, we said 3 plans, but there's a wild card brewing. Multiple sources are reporting that if the Hawks decide to move Trae this summer, the Lakers would be very interested. Why? Because he solves one of their biggest issues, perimeter shot creation. He's younger than Luka, easier to trade for, and the price tag might be lower. So if the Luka path closes, don't be shocked if the Lakers pivot quickly to Atlanta. And that brings us to the big question. Is Rob Pelinka quietly playing chess while the rest of the league plays checkers? Fans used to criticize the Lakers front office for being reactive, for chasing stars without a long-term plan. But lately, there's a different energy, a sense that everything is being calculated, measured, deliberate. Even the seemingly minor moves like signing Spencer Dinwiddie mid-season or waiving Christian Wood now feel like they were done with future flexibility in mind. Could these small changes be part of a bigger puzzle? Fans are definitely wondering. And so are other teams. Executives from rival franchises have reportedly started keeping a close eye on what the Lakers are doing, because when LA is quiet, it usually means something loud is coming. Now, here's a fun speculation. What if the Lakers go all in this summer? What if they package D'Angelo Russell, Hachimura, and draft picks from Markkanen, then flip future assets and young players like Max Christie in a second deal for a star guard? Suddenly, your starting five could be LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Lauri Markkanen, Austin Reeves, star guard, maybe Trae, maybe someone else. That's a very real championship core. And with a few veteran role players off the bench, the Lakers could have the best of both worlds, experience in youth, defense and shooting, present and future. But of course, none of this happens without risk. If the Lakers go all in and it fails, they could be stuck with aging contracts, no draft picks, and a shallow roster. But if it works, if the stars align, literally and figuratively, we could be looking at the next Lakers dynasty. So now I want to hear from you. What do you think about all of this? Is the Lakers front office really that far ahead of the curve? Are we about to witness one of the most strategic rebuilds in franchise history? Or is this all just smoke with no fire? Some insiders have even suggested that the Lakers could be eyeing a younger, analytics-driven coach for the future. Someone who can connect with rising stars while managing the egos of established veterans. That kind of balance is rare, but it's essential if this master plan is to work long-term. And speaking of long-term, let's talk about the Lakers' draft strategy. For years, the narrative was that the Lakers don't value picks, that they trade them at the first sign of a shiny object. But things are changing. You can feel it. This front office has started to value optionality. Holding on to picks doesn't mean they won't trade them. It means they're being smart about when they strike. Take the 2024 and 2025 picks, for example. Those selections could become currency in any blockbuster deal. Or if the Lakers play the long game, they might use them to draft promising talent and develop in-house. Either way, they now have flexibility, and that's exactly what they've been building toward. Another under-the-radar move? The Lakers' increased focus on international scouting. Over the past 2 seasons, they've been sending more scouts to Europe and South America than ever before. That's not just due diligence. That's preparation. With the next wave of international talent rising, the Lakers might be looking to land a Giannis-type story before it becomes one. And if you're wondering about cap space, here's the interesting part. The Lakers are in a rare position where they might not need max slots to build a contender. Because if they hit on the right trades, if they snag Markkanen, for instance, they can re-sign internal pieces and use exceptions to round out the roster. No need to go star hunting in free agency. They can build from within. That kind of sustainable team building. It's a big departure from the super team or bust mentality of past seasons. And maybe that's the biggest sign that this isn't business as usual. This is a calculated evolution. Another topic heating up in front office circles is the Lakers' player development program. Critics used to say the Lakers couldn't develop young talent. But just look at what they've done with Austin Reeves. Look at Max Christie's growth. If this trend continues, the Lakers might start building their bench the way the Spurs used to, quietly and effectively. And let's not forget the impact of LeBron off the court. His leadership, his work ethic, and his brand elevate the entire organization. Having him around, even in a mentorship role as he ages, could be invaluable to young stars like Markkanen or potentially Luka. That kind of continuity is rare and priceless. There's also the question of timing. The NBA landscape is shifting. The Warriors are aging. The Suns have internal drama. The Nuggets look strong but beatable. If the Lakers can strike now, before the next dynasty forms, they could leapfrog the competition and position themselves as the dominant force in the West. Meanwhile, let's not ignore the fan factor. Lakers Nation is massive, passionate, and global. Players know that. Agents know that. That spotlight, that platform, it matters. It's a magnet. And as the Lakers build this new core, they're not just selling basketball, they're selling legacy. And here's a wild card nobody's talking about, Bronny James. If he declares for the draft and the Lakers find a way to bring him in, it might extend LeBron's tenure and attract even more attention to the franchise. It's not the main plan, but it could be a brilliant subplot that adds fuel to everything else. Let's not forget ownership either. Jeannie Buss has been more visible, more vocal, and more involved. That alignment between ownership, front office, and coaching is something the Lakers haven't always had. But now, it's starting to look like everyone's on the same page, and that's when magic happens. So, here we are, at the edge of something big. It's not hype. It's not smoke. It's a vision that's slowly becoming visible. Piece by piece, move by move, the Lakers might just be building the most strategically sound roster of the next era. And yet, it's necessary. Because the league is evolving faster than ever. Teams like Oklahoma City and Minnesota are proving you can win with depth, development, and patience. The Lakers, for once, seem to be taking notes, not just playing catch-up, but potentially setting the next standard. This shift also ties into something deeper, culture. For years, the Lakers leaned heavily on star power. Now they're investing in system, chemistry, and continuity. You can see it in how they've rallied around Darvingham. You can hear it in press conferences. There's a sense of purpose forming, a collective buy-in that hasn't always been there. And here's something fans might not realize. LeBron James is fully on board. Sources close to the team say he's more involved in team strategy and player development than ever before. That matters. Because when your biggest star believes in the vision, the rest of the locker room follows. This is also why the Lakers have been cautious about certain trades. It's not just about talent. It's about fit, chemistry, mentality. Bringing in the wrong personality, even if they're a great player, could throw everything off balance. That's why names like Kyrie Irving, once heavily rumored, have cooled off. The Lakers want stability as much as they want firepower. Now let's talk about continuity. The idea of keeping a core together for multiple seasons used to be foreign in LA. But now, there's real discussion about locking in players like Reeves and Hachimura long-term. That kind of consistency breeds chemistry, and championship teams are built on chemistry. Even the training staff is getting praise. Injuries plagued this team for years, but new investments in health, recovery, and load management seem to be paying off. Anthony Davis, in particular, looked the most durable he's been since the bubble. And that's no coincidence. Let's also give credit to the role players, the unsung heroes. Guys like Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, and Jackson Hayes may not make headlines, but they bring defensive toughness and hustle every single night. That's the kind of depth that wins playoff series when stars have an off night. And speaking of playoffs, every move the Lakers are making right now is with May and June in mind. Not just making the playoffs, but going deep. That's why they're looking for two-way players. Guys who don't disappear when the game slows down and the lights get brighter. But the best part of all of this, the Lakers have options. Real options. If the trade market shifts, they can pivot. If a star becomes available, they can compete. If the youth movement takes off, they can ride it. They're not boxed in anymore, and that freedom is powerful. Even agents are noticing. There's a growing belief that the Lakers are becoming one of the more player-friendly franchises again, not just in terms of market and lifestyle, but in how they treat their talent. That reputation can open doors that talent alone can't. Now, don't get me wrong, none of this guarantees a ring. The NBA is brutal. Injuries, bad matchups, hot opponents, they can derail any plan. But what you can control is process. And right now, the Lakers' process looks smarter and more sustainable than it's been in a decade. You can feel the shift in the fan base, too. There's optimism, sure, but there's also patience. Lakers fans are starting to understand that dynasties aren't built overnight. They're forged through vision, planning, and execution. And right now, All three boxes are being checked. Imagine what this team could look like a year from now. With the right moves, the right luck, and the right leadership, we could be talking about another parade down Figueroa. It's not just a dream anymore. It's becoming a roadmap. Personally, I'm hyped. I love this direction. This is smart basketball. No panic. No shortcuts. Just calculated risk, patient planning, and the kind of bold vision that defines great franchises. If even half of this comes true, Lakers Nation is going to have a lot to celebrate. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We've got so much more coming your way. Trust me, you don't want to miss a second of what's next. Until next time, stay loud, stay proud, and stay purple and gold.